online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Miriam, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
There we go.
Oh, isn't this nice and relaxing? Would this happen to be Hilary Duff's brand new song?
Of course it is Hilary Duff's brand new song, Tattoo, the acoustic version. And we are here on the Younger After Show. I'm your host, Tara Johnson. I felt it was like appropriate given our bluegrass festival theme of this episode. And I'm here with two fantastic hosts today, and so I will allow them to like soothingly introduce themselves.
I am Lindsey Miller, and you can find me. I feel like I'm on like the voice on like a really bad pharmaceutical commercial.
Oh, you so do, yeah.
You can find me on social media at Rockin' Mama Life. You may experience dizziness, nausea. Right? Is it right? I could totally do that.
This is gonna be very hard for me to be relaxed. Let's try. Oh my god, I'm so scared. Hi, I'm Dan. Please find me on social media at Dan Babic and at DanBabic_ on Twitter.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Well done. And I'm just the loud one, like, hi, I'm Tara. I'm Tara Johnson. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TJ Wagging Her Tail. And before we do anything else, you can find this acoustic music, the soothing tones, and us all the time, as well as all the other shows for AfterBuzz on iTunes and SoundCloud and YouTube. And please write and subscribe and give us 5 stars on iTunes. And leave those comments for us, because we love to talk to you and love to hear what you have to say about this episode. So before you can comment, I guess we need to talk about the episode, so we should get started. Yeah, that's probably the best thing to do. So we're Younger, Season 2, Episode 7, Into the Woods and Out of the Woods. And like we said, we have this bluegrass festival going on. Oh, the Hudson Valley Bluegrass Festival. Off the top, have any of you attended one of these like bare bones, roughing it type of festivals?
No.
I haven't.
Okay.
I'm shocked.
I haven't, no, because I'm not a drinker. That's because I haven't done, because I'm not a huge drinker. But I love camping. I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Really? Like glamping?
No
camping.
glamping. 3 days. No phone. I hate no phone. None of this. 3 days into the woods. Love it anymore. I want to kill myself. But 3 days in the woods with, wiping your ass on nature's things and showering in the lake. I love it. 3 days. Amazing. But I just can't do the drinking, so that's why I haven't done the festivals.
So when you go on these camping trips, is it just you and your close friends, or they're like 2 girls in really bad wigs with no tops on and that kind of thing, like what we witnessed in this week's episode?
It wasn't quite like that. I'm quite a simple boy. I go with my family. And we would just sit there and we shower, not shower, but you kind of like go in the the lake, and that's how you get clean.
Yeah,
love it. Any more than 3 days, that's it. I'm I'd probably find me dead because I couldn't handle it anymore. But love camping. Love 3 days of camping.
I love camping too.
Yes.
I used to camp. I was a Girl Scout.
Aww.
On my honor, I will try. Still know the Girl Scout thing. And I grew up in New York, so I used to go camping a lot. And I've actually been to the Hudson Valley, where all things like we saw in this episode exist, and there's like breweries and hippies galore, and everything smells of patchouli and Birkenstocks, and it's like magical. Yeah.
See, it's true. Mm-hmm. It's all true. So Liza, what does she last? 24 hours, 36 hours maybe at this Hudson Valley Bluegrass Festival, which I have to commend her, because why did she go? To support her man.
Good for her.
Josh has been so understanding, and my life has been upside down, so I'm going to go and support my man. And she did that. What was the theme of the night? I'm a trooper. I'm a trooper.
Yes.
I'm a trooper. But interrupting her lovely rustic time with Josh was Charles. Mm-hmm. Now, Charles is going to be featured and by the book in the New York Times, which is a huge honor. You ask a couple of questions about your literary past and your inspirations. And it seems as if when he was talking to Liza and Diana, he just couldn't get it together about answers.
Yeah.
But they had like this three-way conversation going on. Why do you think Charles kept reaching out to Liza, even on the weekends while she's on a trip with her boyfriend, and he just wouldn't stop texting her and calling her?
Well, I think on the one hand, I think he values her opinion. But on the other hand, I thought it was ironic that she accidentally sexted him, because I felt like what she was doing was a little bit of like emotional sexting. Like there was definitely some stuff happening.
Yes, and I definitely think it shows that Charles wants to get in Liza's pants, and I think Liza wants to do the same. She won't admit it because she's committed to this whole Younger experience, so she wants to follow that right through. But I've got to say, after tonight's episode, I think she's going to get with Charles, and Kelsey's going to be like, "Oh my God, this is so kind of weird, but so hot at the same time." I think that's where it's going to go. I think she's going to cheat.
See, I've said the entire time, okay, I can see that they have a healthy respect for each other. Even when Liza took care of his kids, that type of thing. But in his mind, she's 26, or supposed to be close to that, and her boss. I've never felt that he crossed the line ever,
No, he has not crossed the line.
He's not crossed the line. But in this episode, I kept saying to myself, I think I wrote it down 3 times, is he being appropriate? Is he being inappropriate? I almost felt like by the time the episode was over, Liza was already emotionally cheating on...
Right. There was some flirtation. There was definitely a lot of flirtation in the subtext. And I think that they definitely have a relationship that goes beyond, like, boss-employee.
And let's be honest, I mean, if Liza does bang him in the end, and even though she's actually not 26, it wouldn't be the first young girl that kind of gets with the older boss. Yes.
That's true, but Kelsey has had such a battle with that. Remember when she first got her imprint and people were saying, who you sleeping with now, that kind of thing. So that theme has already been in the show so much that I would think that Liza would even try to separate herself even more from Charles, given the fact that she's supposed to be 26. Now we know she's not, but everyone else thinks she's 26. But she seems to be falling right into the pocket, and I was kind of surprised by that. I mean, she was texting Charles, texting Josh. I mean, I thought I was expecting her to pull the ranks a little bit more before she did. I was surprised by that.
I don't know. I'm not surprised by it because I think the whole idea, and I don't think it's a similar storyline to the Kelsey and the men. I think it's more so that Charles reminds her of who
she used to
be, still is, or you know what I mean? Like, he's appropriate, he's age appropriate, he's gone through life. He can relate to her on a level that Josh just can't.
I agree with, but one thing I love where the show is progressing, because last week I was like, get over the fact that you're younger, because it was just too much younger last week, whereas just the right amount of younger this week. We spoke about it a little bit, but we didn't, let it consume every thought that we're, pretending to be younger. But I think what's going to happen in the end of the series, and it's scaring me because it's kind of starting to happen, is she's going to realise, like one of my favourite shows, Wife Swap, when the two families come together and, one extreme to the next, and then they both realise at the end that neither is right, and you can take a little bit from everyone and learn. And I think she's going to take a little bit from living, kind of her own age and living younger than her age, that she's both those people, that it's not okay to be this old kind of hag that doesn't live life anymore, and he's like, I'm a mother, so I have to do everything that mums do, but it's not okay to be, being 26 and going out and getting drunk every night and living this life that's a little bit on the edge. I think she's going to find a happy medium.
Preach.
Yeah,
Preach it. Because
preach it.
rockin' mama is a rockin' mama for a reason.
I agree.
Because she's not just a mama, she's rockin' mama, so she wants to be like you. Or needs to be like you. She's going to discover that's the best way to live.
I'm not that old, first of all.
No.
Second of all, no, I agree. I think you're spot on. I think that's the whole thing that we're starting to see. And I think originally I thought Josh is going to start to have these things that grate at like his perspective of her, but right. I think I was wrong. I think it's Liza. I think she's gonna start to notice more and more that she's gone, like you said, from like one side of the pendulum to the other side completely, and where she really is, who she is somewhere in the middle.
Right. I can see that. But I mean, even with this episode, she tried to attach to the fact that she was 40, the reason why she didn't like to be in the woods.
Oh, that had nothing to do with that.
And it had nothing to do with that. But she was like, I'm just too old for this. Like,
yeah.
those type of artificial attachments, I can't. They just rub me the wrong way because I think she was almost surprised when Josh was like, "I'm 25 and I can't stand it either." You know what I mean? Like I think that
which is true.
Her.
Like it's like you just some people like to rough it, and some people are like, "I'll take the Ritz-Carlton, please."
Totally. Or like, Dan, I'll rough it for 3 days and then fly me straight on a private plane to the Beverly Hills Hotel for lunch.
You know, she tries to add that on to certain things sometimes, and I'm like, that has nothing to do with it. I agree with you guys are saying. I think eventually she's going to find out because she keeps saying, I don't know who I am. Like she's like lost. I don't know who I am. I'm pretending to be someone. I don't know who I am, that kind of thing. But I don't want her to get into a rut of trying to, I'm 40 and so but my daughter is here and because of how I hated my life before, like I'm supposed to be these type of things.
She's a label up. She's
a
therapist.
I don't think it's her. Yeah. I think it's society. I think society tells you like you get a certain age and you are certain, like you can't wear a skirt past your knees if you're a certain age, and if you're a mom you can't dress sexy, and if you are this, like it's society, it's media, it's like these like rules that people have and they put on us. And I think that it's and why I love this show is I think that she's saying, you know, like I'm too old for this, and he's like, no, like I just don't like this. And I think the whole point of the show is to shed light on all that crap.
Yeah,
like it's crap. Like it doesn't,
it is, yeah.
Just because you're a certain age doesn't mean you can't go like do whatever. Like just because you're 40 and you decide to change your life doesn't mean you're having a midlife crisis.
Right.
It might just mean that you're finally realizing like what makes you happy. Like why is that a midlife crisis or some like, oh, you're having a moment. It's like, no, I want to do something different. Like it just, I think it's challenging all those things. So I don't know that those labels are like her fixated on them. I think it's her trying to like learn that those are things she's been told and conditioned to believe, and they're not true.
But I think that's the beauty of having Maggie on the show, because Maggie goes against all of that, like all of the stuff that you're supposed to do when you're 40 years old. But to me, that's also the tragedy because we don't see enough of Maggie. Like we're getting to the point in the show, in the episode where it's like this episode was her and Lauren hugged up in a bar for like 2 seconds.
Maggie's more than that. Maggie needs to be used more than just getting with some
but
young
on
girl.
that same thing, you say like, oh, Maggie doesn't subscribe to all that, but like the majority of people would look at Maggie and think she's like a failure or like an oddball or like, oh, just like an artist, like not like respectable, whatever. Like a lot of people look down on her life choices.
But who cares if you're happy?
Right.
No, I know. I'm not saying
yeah.
I believe that, but what I'm saying is like society as a whole expects you to live a certain life in a certain trajectory. And like, yeah, Maggie shadows all of that, but I love that Liza sort of embodies all of the typical things, and she's peeling away the layers that don't sit right with her.
Right.
True,
you know?
yeah. But it's funny because this is probably the biggest conversation that I'm like most passionate about in life is because I don't like when people don't do what they want to do.
Right.
And they subscribe to the rules because I am the complete opposite of that.
Right.
Like I could not be more... Really? And so it gets me aggravated. I'm like, no, especially when we paid out that mum, you know, when she went back to the whole
New Jersey
housewife mum, and the mum was like, oh, you can't be doing that. Well, yes, I bloody can. If I want to do that, I can. So I get really aggravated. I'm like, don't listen to people. Do you be yourself? Gets me like even like I said last week, I deleted Facebook because I was over the whole like, oh, did you see this person on Facebook? Oh, did you see they've gone to Europe? I said, I don't care. I've got a good enough fulfilling life anyway. I don't need to my life to be validated by other people. So I just want Liza to keep rising strong, more of Maggie, and so Liza can just live the life she wants to live, whether it be banging a 50-year-old or it be banging a 25-year-old.
Charles is not 50.
Oh, well, in my book he looks 50.
Right? I would say
48.
he's a strong 48. I would give him a strong, distinguished,
Yeah, 48.
attractive.
48, yeah.
Doing those laundry detergent commercials.
I'm so old, I can't tell.
48. I think he's
Laundry
a good...
detergent?
He has like, what is it, Purcell or something? He's the new spokesperson for this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Very handsome.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'd go him.
A strong, distinguished, I would give him 48.
48, yeah.
Really?
We have to have a bit of a
Honestly.
Google, that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
Yes.
How old do you guys think Charles really, his character? Let us know.
I was guessing like 42 to 45, like early 40s.
He just comes across older and more mature to me. Yeah.
He has youngish kids.
But he's a city boy, you know, in New York, established career, they have, you know, people like
Yeah.
that generally have him late. He's not from New Jersey.
I think he's late 40s. You guys let us know how old you think Charles is. I'm curious.
Speaking of which, I love that we find out that Charles, who's like in charge of this like book empire, like hated reading growing up.
I love it.
That was good, yeah.
But maybe they're trying to like give Charles more of a personality.
We're getting more of it.
Yeah,
I love
because
it.
what we've all said over and over again is that Charles is boring. Why would she ever be into him? I wanted him to put in the by the book article that he loved comics. I was like,
well,
say
that's why she
it
called
all-
him and told
yeah.
him. Say, I go with the Hulk. I think it's charming and
The
endearing.
Hulk is the jam. Don't even let it be caught up.
Yeah.
But again, I think he feels like, given where he is in life, given his pedigree, his dad had this publishing house, now he has to run it. Same thing. Certain things he can and cannot do. So I think he's maybe Liza makes him feel a little bit younger, so he can reveal those things about himself.
Yeah, but even I believe, because we found out more about him today, which we like, because I know you've been to Charles from day one. You're like, I think she should...
I like Charles, and
Yeah.
I think they share a lot of similarities.
Totally, but we've always said we don't want it because then the show would be boring. But
Yeah.
I believe that he is a bit of a Liza, episode 1, season 1, where he's not living the life that he wants to live.
I agree.
And
I
I,
agree
think
with
we
that.
might even see a bit more of a transition because his
agree.
character's developing of him maybe not lying and going about this complete kind of crazy journey that Liza's on, but we might see him start to live the life he wants to live.
Well, this episode, he was more casual walking the dogs.
Yeah.
Like, and normally he's
See him
always
at
in
home
suits. Yeah.
with his kids.
Yeah.
I broke my
Cooking.
heart. The book that changed his life, Freedom. That's the last book his wife read before she left him, and it's like,
Freedom, Las Vegas.
I mean, as I listened to their conversation, and it was like they're on a first date.
Yeah.
Via
Yeah.
text and phone, they are legitimately on a first date. Those are the kind of first date questions that you ask.
it's not the first time we've seen them being a little flirtatious.
But this was a little bit
we've seen
more-
them-
yeah.
But this was more extended, I think, more in depth.
Well, we talk about extended in depth. There were some other things going on. in this. Diana and Hugh Shirley got back together again. These two, and I guess we can say they're over now. I guess.
I don't know.
I don't even know.
I don't know, but they just make me completely uncomfortable.
Oh my god, I loved it.
I love them as well.
I loved it. I loved
Wow.
Diana. Oh my god, I died. Diana in the hospital. She's like, just her face and her like, what did she say? I am of supple spine or something.
She's so awkward. Maybe they're the perfect
She's
couple
so
because he's
awesome.
awkward. I mean, if you ask me in bed that many times, is it okay? Is it okay? Is it okay?
No more
give me a break.
talking.
Like, no more talking.
But I think that's she's like a quirky girl. I think for her, she's opened up because I always thought she was a bit of a, had a bit of a stick up her ass, and I thought we need to snatch that out.
Yeah.
But even today when Hilary was like,
Oh, jeans.
come on, girl, like, come on, just, show a bit of tit, and she's like, all right. And then but then when Hilary left, she's like, boom,
That's better.
that's better.
Yeah.
I thought, that's my
That
Diana.
was a sexy outfit too.
It was.
hot,
It
yeah.
was
Banging
really
little
good.
body.
She is.
That was a nice. We don't always agree or like her wardrobe, but this
That
episode
one was hot. I like
really
this
nice.
Diana.
I like this Diana too. I just don't think she should be going around breaking men's penises. But that's
Oh, no, go for it, yeah. It's all about living the life you want to live, so if she wants to be a bit of a whore, now she can.
But I think she wanted to use the penis again. I don't think she wanted to break it. Well, it happens.
I don't know. He was really chatty. I don't think she was having the time of her life.
No, she was just like, put it in and make
She was like, just,
Yeah,
just-
stop talking.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Definitely the most awkward sex scene.
and he, after his penis got fractured, which is a real thing. It
Yeah.
happens more often.
I had to Google it because I thought, can you really fracture your penis? And apparently you can.
Apparently you
We
can.
should put it to our viewers. Has any viewers ever fractured the penis?
And you might want to make an alias name. You don't
Alias
have to
name,
you
yeah.
don't have to use your own real Twitter
No,
name.
yeah,
but-
exactly.
But I would love a poll to see either have you had your penis fractured or has someone fractured yours?
And does it make a loud pop? Or
yeah.
crack?
A crack or a pop.
I
That's
feel
true.
like it would be silent. I don't know.
Oh, I'm a bit scared of that. What scares me? I'm
He
like,
was
"Ooh."
Now
not
you're afraid.
silent.
I don't normally get scared by things, but I'm like, oh, I hope my penis doesn't crack. Ooh.
Do we think they can overcome this penile fracture?
Yeah, that's very politically correct.
Yes.
The penile fracture.
Do we
He
think
seemed pretty like, get away. I
he
don't know.
did? But we need something for her.
I know, but I'm just not sure where that, like, how this, I mean, obviously it's not the end we're going to see of him because she's going to still have to handle his book and the publicity for it. So that I think will at least be very awkward and entertaining.
Definitely entertaining, especially once. But you know what? Maybe this is perfect for his male feminist type of like, I had my penis broken
by
a woman. Does it make me closer to the female? You know, I don't know. Maybe there's a spin that he can put on this and it may make his like book a bestseller. Who knows?
Maybe, but God, he's weird. Like he's
so weird.
So weird.
Yeah, he's very weird.
So weird.
Yeah, like I can't like funny because they're both so weird, but I just don't understand. I don't know someone that weird. I didn't think it was possible to be that weird. It's
no,
strange.
I think there's people that weird.
I think so. He's passionate about his work though, so you can't be like. He is weird, but he's weird for a good reason because he's so passionate about being a male feminist. But it's a bit.
Well, I think we were talking about that last week. Like, we don't like anybody that's like the one thing controls them. I'm all about the religious vibes, unless all you talk about is Jesus. I'm all about the vegan vibes, unless all you talk about is veganism. I'm all about the homosexual vibe, but if all you talk about is your homosexuality, then I don't like you. I don't like the people, you know, that are defined by one thing, and he's defined by being a feminist.
One thing.
Yeah.
So do we think they're over? And if we think if we think they're over, do you think Diana's going to go back to her obsession with Charles, or is she over this now?
She's over it.
You think she's over it?
She's built a bridge and she's walked all over it, sweetie. What do you think?
I don't know. I think there's... when it goes that badly, it's like... but I also feel like Diana's the kind of person who, like, can't let it go. You know what I mean? Like, she has to win, like, her pedometer contest and stuff like that. So I feel like there's going to still be this part of Diana who's going to, like, try to, win him back. Or, like, make it a win somehow. Or end it on her terms, at least. Like, I feel like she has to get the last word. Like, she has to end on her terms.
I mean, I think she thinks Charles is the perfect man. In her mind, I think he's perfect, you know, has the looks, he has the poise, he has the position. So if she's going to get off of this Hugh Shirley train, I think she's going to get back on the Charles train. I mean, what other train is she going to be hopping on?
I feel like another train's going to come by.
I hope so. I hope a lot of trains come by because we definitely need something else for Maggie. I think we're all in agreement there.
We need Kelsey to get rid of her boyfriend.
Yeah, and Kelsey was like pretty much non-existent in this episode, which was strange. But
I enjoyed that though because I feel like the last couple episodes have been so overwhelmingly about the imprint, and that hideous sweater, and I'm just like, all right,
I love Hilary, but I was like, focus a bit more on Liza and a bit on Diana. But it's just not utilising Debi Mazar to her character. She is incredible. To me, she's a star. I think she's the most talented. I mean, the chick that plays Liza, I forget her name in real life, amazing on Broadway, incredible, that's her thing. But I think as far as an actress and as far as, her
name's Sutton Foster.
Sutton Foster, that's it, yeah.
She's got a lot of awards and she's really fantastic.
She's great.
We love you.
We do.
I love Sutton Foster.
Debi's a star. Like, Debi's like the funny, as far as an actress is concerned.
She is funny.
She has got so much to offer, and you're going to put her banging this little annoying girl.
But I find it interesting because, one of the viewers of our after show let us know last week that in the actual book, her character is much larger.
Right.
Plays a much larger role.
I thought you meant like fatter.
I was
like, oh, that's cool.
No. Has more meat to her character. So I think it's interesting that she doesn't have as big a role because especially in the book that it's based off of, she's more prominent.
Well, maybe it's coming because they sprinkled this thing in this past week with, Lauren wanted to introduce Maggie to the woman she dated for 11 weeks, which was strange. But we also have this woman from Maggie's past that
who's coming back.
Right,
yeah, we know she's coming back.
We saw on Facebook. So maybe they're just building up to her story. But I want her to have more. I think I say this every week. We want her to have more.
But I also feel like to that point, she's such a strong character and personality that I feel like if they put more of her in there, it might be distracting to the central plot of the show in terms of where they want the show going. So maybe they consciously sort of hold back until they can really build
the 45, because we said the 45-minute show. That's what they need because it's got too much heart than a sitcom. Like a Modern Family, perfect. 26 minutes or whatever it is, perfect. But it's got too much heart. That's why I think that's where we're coming a little bit unstuck. If you go to the full 45 minutes, I think
Because I feel like you can't quite get really into
It does.
It lends itself to be more like a comedic drama, you know, and we can't really get into the full drama, and everything stays a little bit surface.
That's true because
they don't have the time to really dig in. Yeah.
Well, one of the last characters I want to talk about is we talked about Liza and Josh, but I'm just asking. I think the last thing I wrote in my notes was poor Josh is just clueless. Like he has no idea. I mean, Liza's very honest. She's like, oh, I'm talking to my boss. And she'll tell Charles, oh, I'm talking to my boyfriend. Like, it's like she's very honest, but she's also extremely dishonest. Like, she's not honest. She's very dishonest also.
Well, that moment at the end of the episode when they take the selfie on the bed to send to him and she decides not to send it, I want to know what you guys, like, made of that.
Right.
Like, what did you think of that? Like, what does that mean?
I think it means that Miss Liza is confused. She doesn't know what she wants anymore in life because she grabs onto it. She's like, yes, I want to be younger. I want to be this. I want to be this. But she's actually confused. She's just kind of, because I was actually reading an article today, and I'm not a reader.
You were reading?
I was reading.
Good job.
Huffington Post. Love Ariana. You're great, Ariana Huffington, if you're watching. And it was kind of saying that, like, a lot of people, what they do is when they are in a depression or they are in a bit of a hizzy and they, like, don't know what to do, they just keep busy. So they're distracting from what's really going on. And I think that's starting to happen. So she's just kind of kept really busy. Okay, yeah, I'm younger, did all this new life. Now she doesn't know what she wants. And she kind of is going to have to face her deepest fear because you can run, but you can never hide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when she deleted the draft, to me, it meant I'm with Josh, but I'm not 100% with them any longer. Because I've talked to Charles. Charles has met Josh. Charles knows he's younger. Charles knows he exists. I've mentioned him. But I don't want to send Charles anything that really Charles can look at and say, Josh really, and we're in robes in the bed and breakfast that you reserved and paid for. I mean, whose boss pays for their bed and breakfast? I mean, that was amazing that Empirical Publishing paid for this amazing room. And all he did was mention it to Liza like that. So we all know that as much as he reserved that room for Liza and Josh, it was really for Liza.
Well, but did he know that it was for Liza and Josh? Because in that conversation, when she's talking to him and he's like, oh, I know a bed and breakfast if you wanted to go. And she was like, oh, that sounds, but I'm here to support him and his band. I wonder if Charles was thinking just Liza would go
maybe
to the bed and breakfast and leave the festival. I don't know. But I also feel like she, when she deleted it, I was like, it made me think back to the sexting. And do you think she was upset that she accidentally sexted her boss? Or was she upset that she accidentally sent a sexy text meant for her boyfriend to Charles?
Right.
And there's like a little difference there.
Yeah.
There is, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think a little bit of both.
Was she upset that like, oops, I sent this text to my boss? Or like, oops, now I sent this text to Charles that I'm going to take my top off for...
Right, my boyfriend.
My boyfriend.
Same thing with the picture. I don't think she's honest, but she's not really honest.
No,
like,
she's not honest.
She doesn't want Charles to open a text message and say, thank you from us. Yeah. Right? Like, she doesn't want that image to remain with him.
She's only saying it because she's got to say it. It's almost like when a little kid and they're just like, sorry. Right? It was easy, yeah. Like, sorry. Like, you don't really mean it. She just say it because that's what's right to do. Remember, following society's rules. I can't do that. So, but if I'm being honest, yes, I'm not, hiding anything.
Right.
Yeah, all about the societal rules.
But I just felt so bad for Josh because he was like, let's put the robes on. Let's tell your boss thank you. This is so awesome.
Innocent.
Like, so innocent, so into it, so... it's not even
like you must have done a great job with this like book thing. Like
he didn't even question when he read the card saying I couldn't have done it without you. Like he didn't even think twice about that or say, well, Liza, what did you do?
Yeah,
he thinks the world of her. He thinks she's fantastic. Well, of course she did a great job. Of course
she didn't do anything wrong.
No, but that's
the
me.
Subtext,
right? It's nothing's wrong. But I just felt so bad for him when it was over because.
My gosh.
He has no idea what's going on.
He really is clueless, but he's just, you just look at him, he's just perfect. Isn't he just perfect?
The hottest thing ever.
Because as I was telling you, I reckon we're going to get him on in the next couple of weeks. Because I found out, because I've got a few mutual friends with him, and he's got a place in LA, so I reckon in the next couple of weeks we can get him on for sure.
Yes, please.
But I'm just thinking, I was thinking at that moment, like, it's so, when someone's really, really hot,
He's really hot.
But you've got to you pretend that you don't even notice they're hot. That's what all of us will do if when he comes in. Like you just have to be like, oh hey, like how are ya? Like act like he's just a normal regular looking human, but really inside you're just like, oh my god, he's so hot. Yeah.
No, I'll probably tell him that he's a gorgeous human being.
You can do that, but
I
I'll
can do that
so
because I'm
cool.
married and I'm not gonna actually act on it. So it gives me this veil of security.
Oh yeah.
Where I can be like, you're hot.
Yeah, I love telling the truth. I think, beauty needs to be respected and acknowledged where it is. He's extremely
And he's very into
hot.
free love. Like he loves without gender bias, whatever.
Let's do
multiple people. He's
done.
a loving
So
person.
I'm gonna get him in the next couple of weeks, and Hilary is a bit harder, but
Yeah, Hill's a bit
maybe
of a diva. Maybe we could get her sister Haley. I still think she should do a cameo on the show. Help your sister out, Hill.
I know.
Right?
Yeah, that'd be
How
great.
devastating must that be in her house? Because Hill's totally killing it in her career, and poor little Haley.
Well, Haley has a couple things. I think she has a cooking show and stuff like that.
A couple
man.
straight to DVD
Yeah.
that I love. I love watching them on Netflix.
As long as the check cashes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
So I think we handled the episode. Should we move into some predictions?
This is my favorite time of the show.
I just like lies.
Dan _ What's your predictions?
Well, my prediction is that we're going to keep on seeing Liza.
Really?
Of course. Oh, yeah, no, that's a very good prediction. I keep on getting Liza flirting with Mr. Charles, and she's going to cheat on Josh. And I think that's how the season's going to end, but I'm going to be a little bit annoyed because I want more. And we're going to see more of Diana. And I don't know what's coming up for Kelsey. Not sure there. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. What about you, girl?
I disagree.
Ooh.
I don't think Liza will cheat. I think that we'll start to see Liza have this kind of realization of, what am I doing? Who am I really? And almost have a reverse crisis of age where it's who am I kidding myself? Going to these festivals and out partying and wearing, whatever, just acting like I'm in my 20s. What am I doing? This isn't real. And I think we'll start to see her go through that, and as she goes through that, I think Charles is going to be there more and more and become more and more appealing, and I think we will get to a crisis of the heart and mind moment where she has, Josh, who she loves and adores and, is with, and Charles, who on all points is super appealing, and she has these feelings for too. And I don't think she'll actually cheat on Josh, but I think there will be a moment where she's going to have to figure out what she's doing. As for Diana, I hope we continue to see sexy Diana. I like Diana unbuttoned. I like her without all the scarves and the and
that's like a follow-up show. Diana unbuttoned.
Diana unbuttoned.
Yeah.
Maybe this breaking of the penis will be a sexual awakening for Diana, and we'll see a sexier, hipper, more free, uptight, and awkward Diana.
Don't forget the awkward part.
I do feel sorry
she's totally
for her.
awkward, but I still think that maybe she'll hook up with Maggie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
What about you, Miss Tara?
I'd please.
She'll go to
don't
one
let
of
that
Maggie's
happen.
weird sex parties. Yes, please.
That would be too
be
much for me.
All levels of awkward. Can you
That's too much
imagine
for my
Diana at the
no.
sex party?
No. With handy
Yes,
wipes.
please.
With wipes, Clorox wipes everywhere.
It would be amazing.
I see Liza doing the same thing, but I just see her daughter coming back. And when her daughter comes back, all that other stuff comes back. And I think her daughter's going to be very instrumental in her, her daughter's going to maybe meet Charles and say, that's the person.
No,
Mom.
maybe her daughter will get hired as the nanny to Charles' kids. I should write for this show.
I just think the daughter's going to be a really integral part in carving Liza's path. I'm not going to say it's going to be the path that Liza wants to take, but I think yet again it's going to be her trying to figure out what she really wants as opposed to what she thinks she's supposed to do. I would like to see Diana go back to online dating now. Since she is
Diana on Tinder.
Right, Diana on Tinder. Diana with the name The Penis Breaker. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, I love it.
Loves it.
That's what I would like to see for Diana. Charles, I would like to see him a little more casual. We'll see. I think but before he and Liza get together, and I hope they don't because I'm all Team Josh, I think there may be another woman who comes in and just takes Charles's attention for a second. He needs something to do. Just
Haley Duff.
Miss H. Duff herself, Haley. Yes.
She'll be one of the new millennial imprint writers, and he'll fall for her.
We are trying to get Haley Duff a job here. That's what we're trying to do.
She was going to do it because I know I'm a Hilary man,
Right.
but she was pregnant. So Hilary's like, oh my god, like she was going to do it, but like can't do her voice. I'm going to stop. But yeah, she was going to do it because she was like heavily pregnant when Hills was filming. So, but now she's popped out the baby. She might be in for season 3.
I love when it's Hills. I love that.
Hills,
Dan, tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, you can find me at Dan Babic, and then you know what I'm going to say now is my Twitter, and at Dan Babic with a little underscore for the Twitter, the tweets. I love a tweet, so tweet me away.
There's a lot of tweeting. I'm Lindsey Miller. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Periscope at Rockin' Mama Life.
I love that Rockin' Mama Life. And I love Dan Babic _ I'm Tara Johnson. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at TJ Wagging Her Tail or at wordswinewomen.com for my online women's talk show.
Just quickly, where is his tail? You speak of.
I know.
First of all, my tail is wagging constantly, honey. You just have to watch it.
All right.
And that's us this week. We hope that you join us next week. Again, follow us on social media. Let's keep the conversation going. We want to know what you think of Charles and Diana and Liza. And do you think Josh is hot? I'm sure you do. And we'll be back here next week to do it all again for you. So until then, bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.